Hey, on the move. So this next episode I recorded back when the fires were raging. You know, all these episodes I record out of order. I just record when I can and when I'm able and when I am inspired to do so. And then I have sort of a backlog of them that I go through. But this was one that might sound out of place only because of the sort of the dire nature of what's going on. And if I'm kind of losing my mind, especially at the beginning. I say some provocative things, which, you know, is kind of nothing new there. But I was working on a music video for the weekend, and I was just finishing a long all-night shift, and I think it's like 8 a.m. in the morning, and I start recording. So after I picked up a coffee on my way home. Anyway, enjoy. On the move. On the move. On the move, Fire Edition. No, just cruising home. It's about, let's see, what time is it? It's 8 a.m. 8. It's 8 a.m. I've worked all night. My city is completely burnt to the ground. I pulled an all-nighter on this gig. I'm a little slap happy because it was cold in the studio and I was on a very challenging physical. You know, some of these shots are physical. Where you're fucking leaning over. You know what I mean. Stop motion talk. Here we go. Boom. You know those shots when you're climbing on apple boxes and wrenching your back and leaning over and you're on your fucking toes, so it feels like your calves are gonna rip apart. And your knees lock all in these weird, funky positions. So they start to ache and hurt, and your fingers are so fucking cold because it's, you know, late at night. They don't want to heat a studio, a whole big giant studio, just because some knucklehead is pulling an all-nighter. So they all offer you a space heater, and you go, no, I'm cool, because it's kind of toasty when you start your shift. And then when you end your shift, about every 5.5 minutes you can crack your knuckles because you're frigid ice. You're just a broken, pile of bones at that point. Oh, but yeah, it was a good solid. I put in an effort, and then I handed the shot off to Ferran, this lovely Spaniard that I met. What a sweet, sweet guy. I'm digging him. He's a Spaniard from Barcelona, and I get on with people from Barcelona. What a gorgeous Barcelona! What a gorgeous city! It's one of the great cities. It's one of the great cities. Great cities of the world. I think it's probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my whole life because of the architecture and the art and the spirit and the soul of that city. It is there's a mood and a mystique and a charm. Believe me, it's been like fucking 35 years. I think I was there when I was around 17, whatever that was, late 80s maybe. It's been a while since I've been there, so I'm sure it's changed. For all I know, it's been burnt to the ground. No, I think it's about the same. Architecturally, you have the Gaudi, all the beautiful Gaudi stuff. If you don't know who Gaudi is, look him up. He does these very organic buildings and interiors with tons of tile. This beautiful, shiny, gorgeous tile. It almost looks like whipped cream on a cake. This tile is just... And he borrows from nature all these organic, circular, almost like shell-like sea creature shapes. And this bounty of imaginative. And there's this unfinished cathedral in Barcelona that's so famous and gorgeous to walk around. It's like, oh, we're going to finish this next year. And it's always next year they're going to finish it. We're underfunded. We can't, there's never enough money to finish something like that. Come on, give me a break. You'd think some billionaire philanthropist would just go, you know what, let's just fucking finish this motherfucker. But no, they're too busy spending their money on interesting ways to enslave others. Biohack. Hey, would you like to spend some money to beautify the world with this beautiful unfinished cathedral? We could finish it, and it would be a tax write-off. No, I have some children I need to torture, and I'm trying to hack out of the matrix in order to crush this world and become a god. Me and Bloomberg are going to some and then drink their blood while anally fornicating with a goat in order to burst out of the moon and become a Mithraic demigod in the crystalline afterlife of the apocalypse on this following full moon eclipse. Well, alright. Okay. That's cool. And anyway, I need that $1 billion to promote smart dust. What's smart dust? It's this microscopic dust that is full of little nano chips that people inhale, and then I can keep an eye on them and give them heart attacks whenever I want. It's fun. Okay. All right. Anyway, Barcelona's dope. I love it. I was really, really into comic books when I went. And it had some of the best underground comics I've ever seen in my life. Just all those yummy European comics, like, I don't know, like Mobius, Milo Manara, and all of the depraved European, kind of like X-rated shit. And the weird sci-fi kind of heavy metal-ish type shit. I just had a field day, and there's a great Picasso museum. You know what okay, here's what struck me. It's just like, all this old, beautiful architecture that they update and retrofit with gorgeous modern accents, like a beautifully constructed thick glass door on almost like a Byzantine monk's cathedral. It's like this stone that's like ancient, and then you just put this beautiful classic modern gorgeously engineered glass door on it. It's just like the contrast between the new, clean, modern, well-made, and the ancient. And the two live in harmony because artisans care to sort of construct. It's just, LA is just like every fucking structure is just shit out of some diarrhea-infested asshole. It's just, there you go. And then, over. And they think, people in LA think they're so smart. Well, I used an oblong corner with mirrored glass to accent it. It just looks like the soul has been ripped out of somebody, and they're this empty shell. Here, put an office in this. Yeah, growing up in Los Angeles is, you have to look elsewhere for beauty. It's not necessarily in the structures. I mean, there's some beautiful buildings in Los Angeles. Green and Green. Oh. Look at some of the Green and Green buildings around Pasadena, like the Gamble House. I mean, Green and Green were these two architects that made craftsman homes. I don't know much about it, but just handmade structures, that used a lot of Eastern techniques for wood joining and load bearing, and these, hand-carved beams and stained glass windows that were done in that Art Nouveau kind of very organic style. Just handmade stuff. By artists that knew exactly what they were doing. There's a Green and Green building that has this elevator. It's a three-story home, and it has this built-in elevator shaft. I remember my dad had heard that there was an open house, that the house was being sold, and he said, "Hey, come with me." And he and I went on this little tour, walked around, and he's like, "Oh, check this out." And I was just like, my God. And, everything was built in. Like, every cabinet and every bookshelf was part of the home. I think the furniture they chose was, in a lot of ways, part of the structures. These little built-in seats and nooks and places to have tea and chat. What am I talking about? Whatever. I fucking worked all night. That's what I did. Okay? And now, after inhaling fucking ash last fucking cocksucking week. It's the worst week. You know, can I just be blunt? This fucking week blew. The winds were blowing, fucking knocking down trees left and right. Everybody's house was fucking burning down. And we get this little respite, you know, like, oh, thank the powers that be. We're having a little rest. But apparently the high, what do they call it? Deadly winds. Yeah, deadly winds, all right, are upon us starting Monday. It's now Saturday. Yeah, luckily my wife and son got the hell out of town because the air quality was so bad. Our house, everybody around us got mandatory evacuations because the fires came like within a mile of our home, but for some reason we were in the mandatory evacuation zone. It's all color grading and very sophisticated satellite imagery. They know exactly who should leave and who should stay. And anyway, I was just like, you guys gotta get out of here. This is ridiculous. We're, sleeping in that shit and waking. And our windows are just don't seal. The one good thing that we have going for us is we have a lot of house plants. And I think that's what saved my life. Yeah, this is mask. This is the one time I would say mask up. You know what I mean? Maybe not around a guy who sneezes, but how about when everybody's asbestos is burning and microscopic toxic shit? You know, it's sort of like when the Twin Towers came down and it was all micro dust. I think that might be a good time to mask up. You know? Anyway, I'm home. And another boring episode is under my belt. I feel very accomplished with this one.